Hey yo, it's Gluke, and today I'm going to be showing you how to turn any song into a garage track. Let's go. Alright, so if you've been watching all of the videos and keeping up, first of all, thank you, that's huge. And second, we now have a good enough understanding of music. We've got a bass line, chords, and maybe an idea or two in the front that would count as a melody. For this video, we're going to take this project that we've been writing and we're going to write a garage version of it. This is what we have so far. So yeah, so far I would say that this song's just sort of in the house area. I mean, you could really call it whatever. When it comes to genres, people like to split hairs over what's what, but at the end of the day, like literally all music's the same. If there's a kick and then there's a clap and then some other stuff going on in the middle. But what we're going to do to get started on this is first we're going to rearrange the drums. That's going to help us start to narrow in the other rhythms that we need, but primarily when it comes to talking about genres like how to make garage or how to make dubstep, they're mainly talking about the drums, and that's with both sample selection and rhythm. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and save this as a new live set. This is our project file. This is our project folder. When you're sending a project to someone, what you actually want to send them is this project. And within it, we have the live sets. So these live sets, you can think of them as like instructions on how to assemble the Legos. And then the project all together. So these folders, the samples, backup, and all this other stuff, these are the Legos. So you need to send both of them if you're doing a collab. For now, we're just going to save this essentially as a new set of Lego instructions, and we're going to call it chord progression video UKG flip. And now you can see in the top, it says chord progression video UKG flip. We have a version of the old song if we absolutely destroy this one. Let's hope that we don't do that. When I'm listening to this intro, right, I'll just loop this and see what needs to be adjusted. So I feel like with most of the UKG that I hear, the intro is pretty dry and it's just everything's sort of like filtered down and it gives this really like raw feeling to it. And when it comes to the rhythm of the drums, the kick and the snare, they sort of play off of this dotted eighth rhythm. We can already start to get a feel for what it's going to sound like. I'm also going to get rid of this pad for now. And the first thing we'll do is just rearrange the drums. Now this is already a UKG track technically. I think with these hats, these are all very like shiny hats. And this clap is very, very housey. Let's go swap these for some rim shots. So we got the drums a bit more garagey. It's really just going to come down to sample selection and the rhythms. So here is the sort of more dotted eighth rhythm that I feel like a lot of garage plays off of. Now, another important bit is the BPM. Yeah, what I was saying earlier, it comes down to the rhythm of the drums, the sample selection, and also the BPM. That's really all genre is. So we'll go ahead and speed this up to like 134. So let's go ahead and hear what we have now. And I think that this kick is just a bit too subby. I'm gonna go ahead and chop this down a little bit. Yeah, we're already getting there. We're starting to get the drums here sounding much better. Let's go ahead and take some musical element and just loop it. A fun little trick is that once you've frozen a track, Ableton saves this as an audio file. If we take this MIDI clip from the Frozen track and copy and paste it into the audio track, we'll actually just have the audio. So we really don't even need this channel to be on anymore. And so let's just go ahead and start looping these chords so that we get something fun. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good. I'm going to beef up these drums a little bit just so that we have more variation with them. Alright, so we got the drums definitely beefed up. Now at this point, we've got a good sort of foundation for our garage track because this is going to be the primary groove that we'll lean into. And so we'll just go ahead and stick with this for now. And now we can start changing the other ideas around sort of the basis of what we have. So I think that this rhythm is a little bit too complicated. We can simplify this down. Since there's already a bunch of syncopation in the drums, you're going to want the rhythms in the rest of it to be pretty simple. By doing that, you'll get a nice contrast in the rhythms and you'll start to get more of a syncopated feel for it. So here's what we got so far. Here's the simplified vocal cuts. There's more actual vocal content here, but the rhythm and the choice of the cuts is much simpler. The next thing I want to start to do is start to shape some of these, which were our chords from before. And so this is really going to start to narrow in the vibe that we're going for. So all I did pretty much was just loop the first chord every beat, and then I added the last chord here on the last beat. Really, the last thing we need to do here in our intro is add the filter on the kick. Start to hone in the vibe we want going into the verse here. I had the kicks in a 4/4 arrangement. I'm going to go try a 2-step. Okay, so I'd say that this is probably enough for us to keep working on the rest of the song. Let's go ahead and put the new drums here. This bass rhythm is going to have to be changed for sure. We don't have any bass in the drop yet, but we have a better idea of what we're doing with the vocal cuts here, and all of the drums are as good as they need to be for now. Okay, what I'm kind of hearing is in this part here, it goes like bow, bow, bow. Those were so far off. I don't really like that. What I did was I added this bass underneath the chords so that it feels like there's more change in the build to sort of show that we're going to go into something new. Now we're ready for our sick bass. Now with this two-steppy garage stuff, the less you have going on, the better it's going to sound altogether because we already have a lot of complex rhythms in the drums. And we've got a simple rhythm in the vocals and we just need to fill in that last spot and it's going to start to sound like a drop. I'll figure out the note first. So yeah, I'm thinking we do like a A-B kind of thing here. So this synth will play and then this synth will play and we can do pretty much the same thing, but we just have to figure out some wicked UK sound design, my man. And that usually involves just taking one sine wave and putting it in the sub and then doing another sine wave, doing something else. Maybe it's FM, maybe it's volume. We'll figure it out. Yeah, that's good enough for a start. All right, so quick run through of the sound design here. I've got one sine wave doing this, and then since I was doing FM, I just was flicking through the basic shapes just to see if we got a different sound. And so this is changing the FM operator on this carrier. And then I put a filter here so it just gets sort of like a bow, and we can really hold that note for a long time because the vocals are going to hold a lot of the rhythm as well as the drums here. I don't have any processing on this at all. This is just how it sounds. And then to sort of add more of the motion going on in the second half, it's a bit tedious, but you can just draw in the envelope here. It's a bit tricky to get it just perfect, but you can get it there. Okay, so now for this next bass, we've got a B section, and I'm going to do something a little different and just do dotted eighths and see how that sounds. All right, so here's what we have now. I think the last thing I'll do here would be just to take out the kicks here and then start to add a fill here so that we have something going into this next phrase. I ended up not using this other serum. I just ended up using the Bonky one from before. When it comes to making more like bass heavy music, you're just going to want these sounds to keep changing over time. And it kind of really doesn't matter what they're doing differently. You just want some variation going on that you can like hear. And I changed the rhythm here. So now it's eighth notes, wop, wop, wop. And I felt like that helped add a bit more intensity to it. So it kind of goes wop, 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 wow, and then drops into the next section. And so then here, the response is this bonk part. The whole song's in F minor, and so it's just, you know, F dotted eighths, and then up one step, and then up to the fifth. I added a little octave jump here just to add a little bit more sauce to it. You look at me. Yeah, see that? This envelope's just not quite there. All right, I'm going to go for gold and try to do dotted eighths on this, but we'll see. So yeah, this envelope is kind of driving me crazy. Something you can do if you end up really going down a rabbit hole here is just simplify it. Honestly, I like that way better. Try not to get too attached to any like one idea and you'll be good to go. Yeah, I think the last thing here would be just adding some fill vocals here to contrast this. So yeah, so this is about as far as I want to get today on this one. I'll go ahead and play a clip of what we started with. You look at me. You here with me. And then I'll go ahead and play a clip of what we have now. You here with me. So yeah, guess final note on this one. You'll be able to tell if you've done a good job writing a bass with solid rhythm if it can go back and forth between this two-step and the 4/4 rhythm here. Yeah, when it comes to writing garage, you really want the bulk of the music part to be really quite simple, and that's why it works on both of these parts. All that's really missing from this project now is just fine details, like making sure that there's, you know, consistent vocals all throughout this track, and making sure that there's whooshes when there needs to be whooshes and stuff. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section what you want to see next. I hope that this has been helpful and enlightening. I'm excited to see where this track goes throughout the progression of this series. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, bro. Be sure to hit the bell so you know when I post new videos, and we'll see you in the next one.